Morning. I'm stuck in a rut, sitting down on my butt, thinking, how am I going to solve this? The wheels in my mind are churning all through the night till this morning, but I still don't have a clue of the best thing to do. You see, doing the right thing is more important than doing the thing right. Trust me, there is nothing more useless than doing with great efficiency and haste something that should not have been done in the first place. My eyes are heavy from lack of sleep, my belly weary with the thought of apparent defeat. The voices in my head were screaming, look at the facts. They don't lie. You can't do this thing. Don't even try. But I knew God was not in all the thunder raging through my mind. He did not give me a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. I needed to hear the still small voice that would help me to make the right choice. I opened the door and walked outside into the cool dawn. The dew on the grass wet my feet as I crossed the lawn. The birds chirped in their trees, the wind rustled through the leaves. The land lay before me lush and green. Hills and valleys, lakes and streams. I closed my eyes and felt the breeze caress my skin. My grandfather had said, as far as your eyes can see, you will possess. Well, that was not my current reality. It was a totally different picture from the masterpiece of my preferred future. But how can I make sheep, goats and cattle become streaked, spotted and speckled? If they can see it, they can conceive it. The still small voice had spoken. The fount of wisdom had opened. See, we are all drowned in information, yet starving for wisdom. For wisdom is the principal thing. Instructions from a heavenly king. My eye was single, my purpose was clear. It was time for action and no room for fear. Creativity is thinking up new things, while innovation is doing new things. Opportunity is often missed because it is dressed in overall and looks so much like work. I needed to write the vision, make it so simple and so plain, so that even sheep, cattle and goats can see it and conceive it. With my knife, I carved on green poplar, on the bark of hazel, and on chestnut wood, and laid the rods before the flock, in their drinking water and in their feeding troughs. You see, challenges make life interesting. Overcoming them makes life meaningful. I examined my work. I examined everything, and I saw that it was good. Then I headed home to take a rest, a well-deserved one, too. Afternoon. The sun was blistering high in the sky, but it was no match for the feeling I had inside. The joy, the exhilaration, the anticipation to be part of a project so big, so audacious, so daring. We were making history, a name for ourselves in all the earth. We had one language, we had one purpose, we had one will, and this thing we have begun to do now, nothing will be restrained from us, which we have imagined to do. So if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, take others along. I watched the production line as the work progressed swiftly. Everyone perfectly aligned and in perfect unity. Mortar upon brick, brick upon mortar. The building of a city that would reach into the stars. And then, suddenly, there came the sound from heaven as of a mighty rushing wind. It blew so hard and stopped the work and halted everything. As suddenly as it came, it left, leaving a silence that could scare to death. A new sound greeted my ears as people began to talk. Cacophony, everyone was saying something different. Confusion, everyone was thinking something different. Chaos, everyone was doing something different. Hence was born the languages of men. Fast forward into the future, hundreds of years later in time, one place, one accord, the mighty rushing wind came again, and our tongues never remained the same. Confession, everyone was speaking of God's wonderful works in different languages. Cohesion, everyone was thinking of spreading the good news about Jesus. Charity, everyone was doing the work of love. Here is born the language of the Spirit. My understanding is fruitless, yet I speak mysteries, because God had chosen the foolish things of this world to confound the wise, and the weak things of this world to confound the things which are mighty. For it is the will of God that with charity we may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men. Evening, under the cover of darkness, we climb the hill to assess the strength of our enemies below. They feel the length and breadth of the valley below like fireflies littered on a dark floor. We were outnumbered by a ratio of 1,000 to 1. The odds made the impending battle look like a suicide mission. 300 men against this large multitude of trained warriors? Even the bravest of hearts would have had a second thought. Then the voice of the Lord came saying, "Arise, get thee down unto the hosts, for I have delivered them into your hand. But if thou fearest, go with your servant Purah to eavesdrop, and then you will understand." Listen to me. Anything you ever wanted in this life is on the other side of fear. Destiny calls to all, but it is seized by only those who dare. So we sneak down into the enemy's camps, dressed in rags and looking like tramps. We heard a man tell another of his dream that made him wake up from his sleep with a scream. He saw a mighty cake of barley bread tumbling into the camp and destroying everything. Men, tents, camels, nothing in his path was spared. Everyone took to their heels, even the kings. Hearing this, my heart was strengthened and courage blossomed too. You see, our doubts are our greatest traitors, and they always make us lose the good we often might win if only we had moved. I went back to my men and told them, it is time to prove ourselves, for he who must move the war must first move himself. With lamps, pitchers, and trumpets we attacked the host, but the Lord fought the battle himself, lest any man should boast. The enemy killed themselves on every side, all through the night, without respite. The victory was great, much more than anyone could believe, because when the Lord fights your battles, all your enemies will flee. Now, in the 3 watches of the day, we have a lot to explore, as stories are the most powerful ways to put ideas out into the world. We think in metaphors and learn through stories, and thus we grow from glory to glory. Amen.